Hello again, BGFH, back continuing the wrap up of my tower city here. We are continuing our multi-part look at this final building that I've just mostly finished. And one thing I didn't mention in the first video was, usually in a courtroom they've got a clock tower or a clock, big old clock on the face of it, and like, well, we can't make a clock, but let's make a cool little glowstone design, and I think that looks pretty cool. So it kind of emulates that look. So like I said, we looked at the fire station, the fire department, we looked at the courtroom so far. So for the second video here, I'm going to take you through and we're going to walk through the police station. We'll go through our unfinished garage here at the moment here. We'll head up in the front and take you through the police station. Alright, so here we go. The police station is actually 2 real floors. But again, as I mentioned in the previous video, most floors in this building, like this is all 1 floor here, but as you can tell, we've got 2 floors within this 1 floor, so we got some subfloors here. Just adding a lot more depth and a lot more intricacy to the building. So again, up here, I really like the middle lighting structure for the main area. Just having those stairs and half slabs and just something seemingly so simple just adds a lot of cool look to the whole room. So we've got our main reception area for the police station here. This is something they added fairly recently in the game, and I'm not sure what for or what purpose, but they added these little character heads, and the friend of mine, he put these little Steve heads in there. You can tell, you look closely, they're just heads. They're not actually people, but it's kind of meant to look like, oh hey, there's actually people looking there. So if you're from far away or whatever, you're not paying as much attention, it kind of looks like people are working there. But little Steve heads, I just left them there because I think they're kind of funny. But so this is the other side of that shield emblem that you saw above the courtroom there. And so we've got the roof of our courtroom entrance right over there, so I'm like, well, let's add some cool window design under our staircase and over our roof there. And it kind of centers the desk really nicely. I think that looks really good. And in the main area here, this is just a place where public can kind of go in and wait and meet and just kind of a general open reception area, seating area here. Got some books on either side, a little bit in the middle there. I think if I go in the middle, yeah, there's like a little, just kind of a neat little irregular shaped pattern. Friend helped me out with that, coming up with a kind of more irregular design. Guy fly up, you can see it from the top. It still has a pattern to it, but it just looks a little bit more irregular and kind of crazy from the outside, but there you go. So what we have here around the outside is we have, these are little meeting rooms. So if you're not going to go to court right now, but you still need to meet with your lawyer, or you need to meet with a cop, or whatever it happens to be, you've got these little meeting rooms here. Nothing fancy, just a table and chairs. It's not an office. It's not anything fancy like that. It's just a flat-out meeting room. So we've got a whole bunch of these around the outside, both below and above on our second little tier up there. That's what we have there. The other thing that I really like, and you'll see it when we go up to a higher floor because there's a little bit more of it, I had said before that I didn't want to just do a flat wooden wall because I wanted to spice things up a little bit more. So taking these little half slabs or these little staircases and just putting them upside down as sort of like a window ledge really looks good. And actually I noticed I need to take and fix that. That should be an iron block there instead of wood, because you see these other ones that matches like that. So little error that I have to remedy at some point. Oh, right there too. Alright, fair enough. And that's the thing is, you walk through these buildings over and over and you think you've seen everything, and then you come back and you're like, oh, whoops, yep, I forgot, I gotta fix a little thing there. So in either corner we've got a bigger office space for people. Alright. Another little office, or another meeting room, a little bit more private than the ones that are out here and just glassed in. So if you really need a little bit more privacy, a little quieter, you've got that. A couple bathrooms in the back here. Another private meeting area right back here on the other side of the bathrooms. And another corner office. And this one's a little different because I didn't actually do any ceiling lighting in here, and I might add some, but what I was kind of dinging around with was actually having it lit via a ring around the floor, and then a couple of candles here and there just to kind of, I don't know, a little different kind of a look. May change that later, but it looks kind of neat. So again, I'm not going to walk into every one of these, but you just have these glassed in meeting areas. And I think we need another torch over here somewhere, because the other side, is that one lit? I think I have a torch. I don't remember this side being so dark. Okay, yeah, at the top of the stairs. So in that, like I said, you always have to keep an eye on, lighting. A, to make it look good, but also just to make things work. I'm going to add that real quick. So I'll show you, here's the new interface that they've redesigned. Again, I'm in creative mode, but that's actually something I don't think I covered in any recent Minecraft video. Is in, I forget which version it was, but they made a drastic overhaul to the interface, which is really welcome. We've got categories now, so if I want to see everything, or if I just want to see, that kind of stuff, if I want to see just blocks, if I want to see all these categories over here, I can do that. I still get the little colored, the tool tips like we had in the original, still very easy to see, but a lot easier to kind of find, and I don't even use it this way. Honestly, what I do is I go over to the right here, click on this, then I have a little search box. I need a torch, T-O-R-C-H, alright? So you can actually do a search for the item that you want. And I'm going to just shove it right over there. And boom, lighting problem resolved. So it's as simple as that. I mean, the other thing I could do, I guess, is if I go iron, take my iron block. Oh wait, that was dumb. Hold on a minute. Iron. And I'll just put that over the torch, because it's already the block I'm carrying. Hopefully I can do this without screwing it up, but I'll go back and fix these two blocks that I noticed over here. Just again, so you can kind of get to see. Yoink. Yoink. Fixed. Done. Perfect. Hide the interface again, and now we'll continue the tour. So it's little things like that that just kind of make it easier to, much easier to find. And as I said, especially visually, if you're having trouble seeing where a certain block is in the whole mess of everything, you can do a search. So here we got our second floor, or our second tier of this floor, and again we've just got our meeting rooms here again. A lot of meeting rooms, but just keeping things pretty simple. Like I said, you're gonna have a lot of people coming in and either meeting with a lawyer. I mean, it doesn't have to be even anything criminal. It could be just a lawyer of, I need legal advice on what to do for something, so it doesn't have to be anything, criminal, just meeting with a lawyer about whatever, or a police officer. So just all around this area we've got these little meeting rooms. Now in the back we got a nice little entryway back to our sort of library here. Got a sign up there. Head up here. Again, this is an area that that my friend helped me with. He kind of ran with an idea that we've kind of started, or that I started, and kind of really like what he ended up doing with some of this stuff. Is we've got some study areas, not really too private, not walled off, just more, I don't know, cozy as it were, I guess. But you got some seating there and a little quieter there. So we got about 3 rooms on either side of the entryway there. And then on the outside of our library here, we've got a bunch of a couple meeting tables. If you need to get together with a big group, you can. Bunch of shelves. Head into our little shelf maze back here. You could have somebody working back here, so as people come back, if they need any help or need to be guided to a certain reference area, they will be able to do that. So you got a place for a worker right back here. Head back out, and the rest of the way around we have more meeting areas for small groups to get together and do whatever. And like I said, on the other side of the staircase, or other side of the entryway, we've got more of these little meeting rooms here. Okay, so that is the first major floor of the police station. We've got 1 to go. So this floor here is really meant for, like, the public is going to have more access to this floor. They'll come down to the reception. They'll either go to like a meeting room on one of these tiers. Maybe they'll go back and meet in the library area. But basically, this is where the public will have more access. The second proper story of the police station is really meant for more just police officers and workers. So we got another reception area, open area, again, up here. But instead of meeting rooms, and this is one where this is just a single floor. It's not, a multi-tiered floor or anything like that. This is more back to the kind of traditional single floor design. This is the one floor of this building that is like that. But even so, like I said, you notice that we've got the different level, we've got like using half slabs and things like that for the lighting, just as a little bit more roomy. It looks a little bit more roomy, and just more intricate, and just adds a lot more character to a single floor design. So we got offices on either side of the room, either side of the main area on this floor. So I'm not going to go into each one of these necessarily too much, because they're, again, pretty similar. There's only so much you can do with an office space to make it look interesting. But again, and then the other thing that I did is, I noticed there was just this big old block of wood going all the way down, so I was like, okay, let's make it accented a little bit. Let's use some upside down staircases, and just adding that little bit of depth above the windows just adds a lot more. Combine that with the little ledges for the windows, and even though even though it's kind of like this around the same height as like a similar floor would be in another building that I'd created, it just looks so much better. I just think it looks so much better this way. So again, we've got offices all the way down, pretty similar. And behind the emblem back here, we've got, this is the area, the main area up here is for our kind of beat cops. They can, when they're before they go out on the street, or if they're, they need to come back and do some paperwork or whatever, they can come back here. They're not important enough to have their own office, or they're not high enough on the scale to have their own office, but that's their little kind of working cube areas there. So that's kind of where the beat cops work. And we'll continue heading down here, so another big office in the corner. And back here in the corner, we've got our crime lab. So right here we've got a little bit of everything, you know, we've got our desks, we've got our computers over here on the one wall, and in the middle we've got our kind of crime lab station, you know, our little beakers and our little computer thingy, and I don't know, I wasn't really sure how to make a crime lab, but, you know, again, a friend of mine and I, we kind of just played with it and, you know, came up with an idea, and yeah, it works. You get the idea of what it's supposed to be. I like the lighting in this room too, because it's not just flat. We've came down like a little lower on the outside, and you can see it's kind of going upward and in. So just little things like that really makes it look different. Really like the look of that. So in the back of the room we've got our evidence lockers. So we can secure our evidence back here. Makes sense to be right off the crime lab, so you know they need to grab a piece of evidence, do a little DNA testing, do a little fingerprinting, or whatever it happens to be. You got your evidence lockers, boom, right there. So that's our crime lab. And you got a little bench area out here, or a little seating couch, just for whatever purpose. Take a little break. Back here we got a couple bathrooms. Same old, nothing fancy. And on this side over here we have our briefing room. Got our whiteboard, our big old table for putting all of our papers and evidence down, and just a bunch of seats for everyone to kick back, or everyone to sit and listen to the presentation and whatever. But yeah, this is our briefing room. Pretty simple, but again, like I said, with the ceiling and stuff, looks pretty good. Head out of the briefing room, and over here we've got another small meeting room. And again, just looking for ways to differ, you know, looking for different ways to change up what I've done in the past. You know, it's not just a solid table. Instead, I said, well, let's take this little look of, we got a U shape here, got our whiteboard on the other side, and we got our presenter we can stand right in the middle. So I just, again, I wanted to just do something a little less blocky, something different than I've been doing in the past, mix things up a little bit. And we've got a couple of offices right here on the other side. One more here. Should probably put a painting over there or something. Fix things up a little bit. And that will wrap up the second part of the final building tour of this city. I will leave it off here, and to wrap up this building and wrap up the current state of my Craterville city, we will take a look at the prison. So I will stop it here, and I'll talk to you in a minute.